Guys, there's something I need to talk to you about. Metrics. I know, I don't like it any more than you do, but as a small channel, we're looking to grow any way we can. And the easiest way is through subscribers. Now, I don't want to force you to hit that subscribe button, but I also don't want to beg for it either. So what do? I think I have an idea. By the divine power of the YouTube algorithm, I cast suggestion! That's right, I suggest that you subscribe to our channel. It's a DC 13 wisdom saving throw, so you better pick up a dice and roll. I know you have one nearby, you disgusting dice gremlin. So go on, do it. Use whatever modifiers you want and leave your roll in the comments down below. And if you don't, I'll know. But on to the video. People still play OG 5e, right? I know I still do. And one of my favorite aspects of 5e was the subclasses. As much as I like what they've done with the new lineages and weapon masteries, it's hard playing a version of 5e that doesn't have College of Swords Bard. At least, not yet. Please, Wizards, please bring College of Swords Bard back. Please, I am begging you. But here we are again, just like we promised in the last video, with 3 new Barbarian Spellcasters for you to play with. So sit back, relax, and let us know in the comments if there are any other builds we failed to mention. But now, let's get cracking. I really miss College of Swords Bard. I really want them to bring it back. And hey, Bardic Inspiration isn't a spell, so why not just add those extra dice to our own attack rolls? With the College of Swords Bard, you can perform various flourishes that allow you to augment your attacks. From dealing extra damage, to improving your AC, to moving opponents across the battlefield, the options are pretty much endless. But the real kicker is the fighting style. Upon taking this subclass, you can choose the 2-weapon fighting style, which allows you to add your modifier to the damage of the bonus action attack you can make with your offhand weapon. Normally, this fighting style is pretty but we can sweeten the deal by taking the dual wielder feat at level 4. Dual wielding allows you to use 2-weapon fighting with one-handed weapons regardless of whether or not they have the light property, and it even gives you a +1 bonus to your AC while you're doing so. Now dual-wielding 2 battle axes is fair game, and it suits our little barbarian perfectly. By level 8, you can already be making 3 attack rolls per turn, which is already more than the traditional barbarian can make at that level. And with your fighting style, your rage, and your flourishes, you've got tons of ways to get bonus damage off of each of your attacks. Now you still can't cast any spells while you're raging, but the Bard's spell list is perfectly suited to be used out of combat. With spells like Charm Person, Disguise Self, Distort Value, and Suggestion, you can fill that suave yet stable archetype of a bard, while also being an absolute savage on the battlefield. But maybe you don't want to be using slick maneuvers. Maybe you just want to hit things really, really hard. Well, then this next build is for you. With just 1 level in Warlock, you can take the Hexblade subclass, which allows you to bond with a particular weapon and get a bunch of benefits from it. That being said, the key ability you're looking for is Hexblade's Curse, which allows you to use a bonus action to curse a target, and while that target is cursed, you deal additional damage equal to your proficiency bonus with each of your attacks. But more importantly, your attack rolls score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20. You see, Barbarian already has a crit fishing ability at level 9, but it's not all that useful. At base level, you only ever have a 5% chance of landing a critical hit, which is difficult to rely on. If you attack recklessly, you can bump that up to a near 10% chance. However, with Hexblade, you can double that. And with a near 1 in 5 chance of critting your opponents with each hit, you can now plan around landing a critical hit. Since bonding with a weapon doesn't really give you that many benefits, you're going to want to equip your Barbarian with a Lance. Lances do 1d12 piercing damage, which is important because at level 4 you're going to want to take the Piercer feat. Not only do we get the basic benefits of Savage Attack, being that you can re-roll the damage of one of your attacks once per turn, but whenever you land a critical hit, you can add an additional die of piercing damage when determining the extra damage of your weapon. Stack this with Brutal Critical, and you're rolling 4d12 with each critical hit you land. And at max level, 6d12. And it doesn't even matter if you roll low, because you can just re-roll the damage once per turn. So yeah, this thing hits like a truck. Editor, play the anime truck meme. Obviously, since you're only taking 1 level in Warlock, you don't have a lot in the way of spellcasting. That being said, you can take the Armor of Agathys spell, which gives you temporary hit points when you cast it, as well as a way to retaliate against enemies for attacking you. And since it lasts for 1 hour and doesn't require concentration, you can just cast it before combat and you don't have to worry about rage getting rid of it. But what if you like a little brain with your brawn? Well, then I guess it's time for us to go over the build that we promised last video. Barbarian, Chronergy, Wizard. Remember when there was a wizard subclass for every type of spell? That was cool. I miss those days. And on top of that, we still had Order of the Scribes, and probably the most overlooked of the wizard subclasses, Chronergy. Chronergy wizards don't have their own category of spells, but they basically just specialize in time magic. And instead of getting a gold cost reduction for certain spells, they get 2 features, their Chronal Shift and Temporal Awareness. Chronal Shift allows you to re-roll any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw of a creature within 30 feet of you, and Temporal Awareness allows you to add your intelligence modifier to your initiative rolls. Spoiler alert! This build is all about going first. Now, as a Wizard Barbarian multiclass, you obviously can't cast spells while you're raging, but that just means that you can freely cast buffing spells outside of combat. Combine that with a wizard's ritual casting, and you can pretty much ensure that buffing spells like Longstrider or Gift of Alacrity are always active. But what's the grand strategy? Well, that's actually pretty simple. Just find the biggest baddie. No, not that baddie. Get that out of here. There, yes, perfect, wonderful, that's better. Find the biggest baddie in the room, and just hit him. Gift of Alacrity allows you to add a d8 to your initiative rolls, and even with just a +2 to your dexterity and your intelligence with Temporal Awareness, you still have a +12 initiative modifier, which is crazy. But it can go higher. If at any point you take the Alert feat, then you'll get an additional +5 to your initiative, which brings that +12 up to a +17. On top of that, if you hit level 5 Barbarian with Longstrider activated, you'll have a base movement speed of 50 feet, which means that squaring up against the biggest, baddest enemy in the room should be a cakewalk. But what then? Well, it's here that I'd like to introduce you to the Barbarian subclass that you'll be going with from here on out. Path of Ancestral Guardians. This subclass is all about tanking. It gives you a set of spirits that follow you around, and while you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack roll becomes their public enemy number 1. Not only do the spirits impose disadvantage on that enemy's attacks against creatures other than you, but if that enemy does manage to hit that slightly squishier wizard next to you, then the spirits will give that wizard full resistance to whatever damage they're being dealt. All of a sudden, it's like your whole team is raging with you. And with your Chronergy abilities, the odds of a boss getting any damage off against you and your party members is laughably small. Beyond spell saving throws, but that's a different thing. Because remember, you should always be going first, so as long as you can beat them to the punch, your spirit defenses should always be in play. But what about when they hit you? Well, as a wizard, you can learn spells outside of your spell list by finding the appropriate spell scrolls. So if you manage to pick up Armor of Agathys, you can get the same retaliation effects that we were talking about in the Hexblade build, except it's more effective because the boss will be forced to target you. And while the timing on this might be a little bit tricky, if you can get a mirror image off as the combat is starting, your Barbarian Wizard will also become unhittable. This is just a win-win. Everybody wins. Except for the DM. That's it. That's all we got. Let us know if we missed any good spellcasting barbarian builds in the comments down below. I know, we asked you to comment a lot already, but it really boosts the algorithm. It's very helpful. Speaking of boosting the algorithm, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I already said comment earlier. Like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, can we get a level up?